Um, let me let's just introduce ourselves, and I'll tell you what we're going to be doing. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Grow with Google. My name is Tim Sharkey. I am a Grow with Google partner, and I work here at Chicostart. We're the organizer for these weekly webinars that we're putting on the Google platforms. I signed up to be a Google partner, or looking for help ourselves here at Chicostart, because we're a Google nonprofit-based account. So we get all of our email, all the different platforms for free, and we can add as many users as we want. As a nonprofit, that's pretty big. Even if it's only $5 a user, the Google for Nonprofits platform is awesome. So if you are a nonprofit, I urge you to go and sign up for it, because they have lots of resources for you that are free, as well as doing some YouTube fundraising stuff for your own nonprofit. So we started doing the Google webinars for ourselves to get used to the platforms and help share as a tech startup incubator. We're in the tech industry and trying to share the Google platform, since it's free to most everybody, is to talk about them, work through them ourselves, and see what kind of questions our community has to help bring up the knowledge base on using these free tools that really help our businesses, as Google is one of the largest entities out there right now. So I started talking to our local Chamber of Commerce, which was Heather Yuki, and we have a business connections meeting on every Wednesdays. So we thought maybe we would share the Google platform with the business connections and have a Wednesday morning workshop and share with the local business community. But then COVID happened. So all of a sudden, the business connections couldn't get together. We weren't doing our workshops, so we decided just to put them online. So, and it stepped it up. Instead of doing one Grow with Google workshop a month, we're just doing one every Wednesday. And in between those different workshops, we're also putting in different topics for everybody. So we did one on social media marketing with Mark Sorensen and Social High Rise a few weeks ago. If you go to our website, chicostart.com, and go to our resource page, I have a recording of that up, which he is a local social media marketing person, and he is fantastic. Just very straightforward, common sense approach to things, and he's really funny too. So if you have time, go and take a look at that webinar. But today, we are going to talk about make your website work for you. This is part 2. If you didn't see part 1, I did put a recording of it on our website, on our YouTube channel. So it's YouTube Chicostart, and you can find part 1 on there as well. And I also just shared some different links in the chat. You can take a look at those, and there are also extra resources you can go to. Besides the webinars, you can sign up for Google On Air, and they have rebroadcasts of their own Google platforms, as well as their skill shop and training centers. So you can go through and get certified in these as well. And it takes you through step-by-step on some of them, because it's actual training course on those platforms. But let's get started here today. Let me take a sip of water, because we just finished another webinar right before this. So we're going to get going. And today we're going to go in a little bit more detail about your website and how to make it more search friendly, how to drive more traffic to it, and also how to get more targeted, get a more targeted response for the effort you're putting in, and making sure that you have a goal and an outcome that you want out of your website. So a global survey found that 58% of purchases were prompted by something the shopper saw online. And we all know this. You saw something online, and you're just going to grab your phone and you're going to go take a look at it. So in today's climate, it may be that a website or online store is the only way you can connect with your customers. So it's more important than ever to build your digital community around your brand. So in the first part, we talked about and reviewed 6 different characteristics that help make up a great website. And we discussed some of the simple ways you can do it. And those 6 different ways are: 1, is it goal orientated? 2, is it organized and easy to search? Is it useful? Is it functional? And it's intuitive. Is it intuitive to use on any device? So that's really important, because your website may look pretty on a web browser, but when you go to a phone, you really need to make sure that people can understand it. The buttons are easy to push. It doesn't get locked up. They know where to buy. They know where to ask a question. They know how to find your phone number. So make sure those things pop up. That's really important. And last but not least, is it findable by search engines? Is Google going to be able to find it and the other larger platforms? So a great website is goal orientated. So many business owners know that building a website is important, and it's an early step to make sure you get out there. But a website can be a lot more useful than a business card or brochure. And with some advanced planning, you can create a site that helps grow your business right out of the gate. But how do you want to grow? That's really important. You need to start by defining your goals. So in part 1, we talked about narrowing your website in on specific goals. What do you want your website to accomplish for your business? And what does a conversion look like for you? So the goal depends on your business, but some examples are: do you want to build your brand? Do you want to just generate more leads because you may do direct phone calling, get a hold of people? Do you want to make direct sales? Do you want to re-engage older customers, past customers? Do you want to attract new employees if you're recruiting and you need to grow? Or is it providing support? So what is the actual goal and what is the return you want from it? So Google Analytics. You use Google Analytics to gain valuable insight. And let me adjust my thing because it got changed up. You're going to gain insights that are going to help you make more strategic business decisions. So you're going to learn which search terms and sources drive the most traffic for you. You're going to see the demographic information for the most profitable customers that you have. And you can understand what content your audience is most interested in. Because once you find out what your customers are interested in, you can put more of that on there. And then you evaluate the channels that drive the most conversions. Where are you getting your customers from, and where should you focus your ad dollars, or if you want to say Facebook or Instagram or Google Ads, which is the best channel for you. To set up Google Analytics, hopefully everyone's out there. Maybe you have a website already, but you should go to Google Analytics. It's free. Just sign into Google Analytics. There's a link right there. You set up your website property. You put in your domain name, and then you can set up reporting and view your different properties. You can set up multiple analytic tracking depending on if you have different websites. I know a couple companies that work similarly together, so it's really nice to see where the traffic's coming from. And just follow the instructions. You add the tracking code to your website so we can start collecting the data. But each content management system, so content management system is like Wix or Weebly or WordPress. Each one of them is going to have a different place you're going to add this tracking code. But I would just look up whatever platform you're on and just type in adding Google Analytics, and it's going to have a walkthrough on where you're supposed to add it, because each one of them will be a little bit different. So how do customers find your website? Acquisition reports. So let's look at some of the reporting and understanding the audience and your website's effectiveness. So keep in mind, we'll be offering Make Better Business Decisions with Analytics Part 1 and 2. And that'll be coming in the next few weeks as we dive deeper into some Google Analytics and the reports that we go through today. So I'll be setting up these different workshops in the next few weeks as well. And if you do go to Google On Air, you can jump right into those as well. Okay, the acquisition report provides you a window on the user's acquisition behavior. So basically how you acquire the users, their behavior on your website, and your conversion patterns. So you can see where the different traffic is coming from and what channels they're coming from. You could use acquisition reports.
I'm in a class.
You can use different acquisition reports to find out where your people are coming from. So that might be if you have ads up, are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming from a direct website search? Are they coming from Google? Are they coming from Microsoft? Are they coming from a specific region? So it'll really help you see what's happening on your website. And if you're present on different platforms, you can check out the attribution model. Different platforms may be, if you're doing referral or affiliate work, to see where the clicks are coming from, so you can track those so you can get paid as well. And you can also find benchmarking metrics for the different channels by going to the audience part of the Google Analytics. And keep in mind, don't get too caught up in all the numbers, because they're there for general guidance to see what's working and not working. So there's a lot of numbers in these reports, so don't get overwhelmed. So who is your target audience? The demographic reports. The audience reports provide insight into the characteristics of your users, such as the demographics, their interests, their geolocation, the language and behavior, their technology, and their devices. So you're going to know if they're coming from a phone, a tablet, a laptop, who they are, how old they are. So you can get some really good information. And where does it get this information? Inside Google, you can go to your ad settings, and you can actually adjust what kind of ads that you see and what information you share with Google. So I don't know if you know this, you should go in and look at ad settings. Just type in adsettings.google. You can see where the information is coming from. So what content keeps your users engaged? And this is the behavior flow report. So this is a visualized path that shows what happens when users get to your website. So you can see how they're clicking through your website. So it helps you discover what content is keeping your users engaged with your site, and to potentially show you where they're dropping off. So if you created an ad from Facebook, it takes you to a landing page. The landing page takes you to the product, and the product should go to a shopping cart. Why aren't they converting and using your coupon? So you might have something wrong with your shopping cart. You might have a bad link. So this is going to show you what's going on. And the more organized you are about setting up the event tracking codes, the easier it is to use the events or the pages events. But you really have to have the pages set up and the tracking code put in before you can, it starts tracking it for you. So which channels are driving your conversion? So you can look at this page right here, and it's showing you your products, your SKU, your category, and it shows the actual different pages. So you can actually have it start tracking revenue for you. That gets a little deeper, but there's some great information there. So the conversion reports are going to help you as a business owner. You're going to make your strategic business decisions, like where you will spend your advertising dollars, or the social media platforms that you want to maintain the largest presence. So we'll go over how to set up the Google Analytics to best use this data from these types of reports into upcoming Google Analytics workshops. And you can also go to Google Grow on Air schedule to see if there's one happening sooner for you. So a great website is organized. So now we talked about the goals, tips for choosing a design. Let's talk about the information inside of it. So make sure that your website is well organized. And even if you don't have a lot of web pages now, you need to think about how your website is going to grow over time and how those pages are going to work for you. So planning how your existing and future content will fit into the framework with your website and how it's going to serve you. So let's take a look. So one of the tools is called Google Optimize, and this allows you to run experiments with the website designs and real-world users, and you can see the results that are actionable, simple to understand. So by running the experiments in Optimize, you can test new website pages and designs and layouts and subsets for your visitors. So instead of relying on instinct, like, oh, I know they're going to love this page or this product, and an opinion to determine the best page or site design, you can run an experiment that tests alternate designs. So you can do A/B, design number 1, design number 2. And you can get the results that are simple to read and understand. So Optimizes uses the power of analytics, and it measures the experiments that you're using, and analytics tracks those goals and objectives. What's more, you can serve experiments to specific groups of your users that you've defined in your audience through analytics. So you may find you are targeting women ages 34 to 42 that love shoes. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So marketers can run experiments on the landing pages to increase the conversions. So publishers test the different layout sites that affect their stickiness. The social media managers can experiment with different sharing strategies, and designers can test the new website designs. And we'll get to an example of that here in a minute. So Google Optimize is integrated with the analytics, so you can make data-driven improvements, allows you to run tests on your website, and learn what's working for your customers and your visitors. And it also helps you customize your website experience to suit each type of audience. So the A/B tests, or ABN tests, which let you set up multiple versions of the same page to learn which page works best for you. The multivariant test, which allows you to test multiple elements on a page to see which combination achieves the better goals. Or a redirect test, or split URL. It's a type of A/B testing that lets you test separate pages against each other. With the redirect test, the test variants are identified by URLs instead of page element, which is most useful when testing 2 very different landing pages or a complete redesign. So what you're doing is delivering better personalized experiences to your customers. You immediately launch the winning version of your site from experiment, and it helps you from the ground up be more successful. So here's some examples. So we just discussed verbally what they were, but if you look at the slide, so you may want to discover that the A/B test, that changing the color of your add to cart button from blue to green might increase your sales like 10%. And it's really weird that does make a difference. With the redirect test, you can see which of your 2 landing pages secures more conversions. So say you do an ad on Facebook, you can run 2 different ads, but if they click on it, they're going to go to 2 different web pages, and you can see which one is drawing the more conversions for you. Same information, just laid out different ways, but it really does make a difference sometimes to test those out. And a multivariant test, so you may learn which combination of the hero images and the best headlines are best for you. So depending on what kind of product you have and what kind of website you have. And a great website is useful. Is your website going to be useful? So we've talked about the goals and organizing it, but we're getting closer to help building your website. So the next thing we need to consider is creating relevant content for your users and their experience. So a great website is useful. So we talked about this in part 1, but we'll go through this really quick. Try to understand your customers using short descriptive names and labels. Try not to give long descriptions to everything. Try to abbreviate them, and maybe run by a few of your customers, or employees and see which one would be the most useful for you, especially on headers. Create content that's useful for the audience. How-to videos, frequently asked questions, testimonials. So think about the information, the architecture, and how you're going to organize this content, and then make the content recognizable to search engines, because that's very important. If the search engine can't read it or get to it properly, then it's not going to show up. So instead of just taking a screen capture with your content on it, actually type it out and take the time to type out the descriptions. Instead of typing over a photo and putting them in, that's what I'm kind of talking about. And Google Trends. Google Trends is really helpful. So you can look up the search queries and compare and look at the volume over time. It's going to help you find the most effective keywords that you need to put into your website content. So let's take a look at an example. So if you're a yoga studio and you want to think about adjustments to the content on the website, and you want to know which keywords would potentially drive the most traffic there. So we would go and use the tool we just discussed, which is Google Trends. And this yoga studio can compare keywords they would like to have surface with their website and determine which of the keywords is being searched the most for your area. So you go to Google Trends, there's a link there, and enter the keywords or phrases that you think would come up. I would do a couple different types of phrases for your business and see if they actually come up. And this is going to help you narrow down the results by location and clicking on the state, clicking on your region. You can see more results for your particular area. And you can also adjust the date range. So what were the Google Trends on search terms, say for the last 90 days for yourself? Or 180 days before. So local search terms on your business before the pandemic happened and now during the pandemic, and see how the changes, it may have changed. It's just really useful to see what the search terms and how they're changing, and per region. And you can, it's also going to show you related queries, and it'll give you new terms to search. So you put in one search item, it's going to say you may also want to look at these different search terms, which is really helpful, because getting prompt on things, it gets overwhelming. So having their assistance is, I like it when I use it. So let's explore the Google Trends. So it's going to show up. There's just going to be a search term or a topic right there. You enter your words or phrases related to your business, and then you can compare the results. You can narrow down by location. You want to go Northern California, you can adjust the range and explore the related queries. So a great website is also functional. So let's move on and see what functionality is about. So functionality refers to the features that allow site visitors to take your actions. So are they going to do a site search, do an online form, an online store, or online tool? How is your website going to work for them? Are they looking for information, or do you want them to fill out forms? Are they supposed to be shopping, or is it a tool to help them figure out? Say you're a landscaping company, if you can help them figure out their total square footage of soil they need. So if you have a little tool for them, might help them out a lot. So things to think about, the do's and don'ts of functionality. Do you think about adding functionality that customers need and want? Do you minimize the customer time spent in the shopping carts and forms? And do you focus on creating an engaging and efficient user interface? So is it running smoothly? The fewer clicks to the shopping cart, the better for people. Try not to have them fill out anything. If they can just do guest, check in, and pay and get out, that's really nice. If you can send them a coupon afterwards and get them to sign up later, they're more than likely to do it. So you'll minimize the amount of time spent performing menial tasks on your website. So think about minimizing the checkout process, adding features like mobile pay. That makes it a lot easier. Make sure that you place the importance of engaging and efficient user interface over any extra bells and whistles that may seem fun or interesting to look at, but don't serve any specific purpose. That's pretty important too. You don't want to distract them with other things besides the ROI, getting to the click and turning that customer into a paying customer. So don't embed videos that are going to autoplay automatically when the visitors land, because they may be in an environment that doesn't allow for sound, and it could cause them to immediately just turn off your website and go to a quieter one. And the user experience should never be a sacrifice to beautiful design. So functionality is the most important element of your web design. So keep that in mind when you're putting large photos. Make sure they're optimized, doesn't slow it down. And a great website is intuitive. Excuse me. So visitors should not have to think about, or worse, struggle to find what they're looking for. To do what they want to do, yeah, they shouldn't have to struggle with what they want to do on your website. If they want to find the t-shirt, they want to buy it, they should just be able to see it, click it, and be a happy customer. So the design can have a big impact on whether your site helps you reach your goals, and we have to consider all types and different types of customers on the different devices. So this is pretty cool that I thought. So this gets a little more technical, but responsive design, you can use the Chrome Inspector tool to test your website's compatibility with all devices. So if you look here, it shows responsive, and it shows all these different phones that are on there. So you can take your website, and we're going to go to, I'll show you on the next slide. So you can go to the Chrome Inspector, navigate to your website. You just type in your www.mycompany.com, and then from there, just right-click anywhere right in the page. I don't know if you can see my mouse on that page, but anywhere on the page, and the site inspector will pop up, this little texty scrolly thing. And on the right-hand toolbar, select the icon labeled Toggle Device Toolbar, and then use the responsive drop-down to select your the different device types, and then you can view what it's going to look like right there. So I would really encourage you to see what your website looks on these different platforms. Because it looks good on your phone doesn't mean it's going to look on someone else's. A great website is search friendly. And in part one, we discussed how the Google bot and the algorithm works to understand your website content and place your site properly in Google search. And we discussed the different concept of search engine optimization, SEO, and some tips for optimizing your own website. And we'll quickly go over those now. So SEO, everyone talks about it, search engine optimization, and that refers to the techniques that improve your website's ranking in Google searches, and it tracks a higher quantity and quality of website visits to grow your online presence. So make your website more visible to those who can benefit from your product and service, connect with customers, make immediate buying decisions, and then increase the number of potential customers who sees your website in the search results when it actually comes up. Also, we want to talk about the optimization. Does it have a fast load time? And here is Test My Site. So you can actually compare it to other websites as well. I think they bring up similar ones that you can compare to. Is the content useful, including your relevant keywords? The relevant keywords or those Google trends we just talked about a few items back ago. So you're putting in search terms. Once you find those search terms that you want to use and they're coming up for your type of business, that's going to help you create the content that you want and design around it for your targets. So once you find those keywords, you want to sprinkle them throughout your website. So put them in your content, put them in your descriptors, help Google search find your stuff by being relevant and using the tools they have. And then the text links. Keep your audience engaged with internal links, external links, and then backlinks. So if you have any affiliates with any of your vendors. So say if you're building homes, if you have any vendors that you work with, if they can put a link on their site that brings you back to yours, that would be really helpful. Shows that you're relevant. And page titles and descriptions. Think about the keywords that we talked about earlier, your target audience, and how they might use to find you, and include them. So just talking about information architecture. Build an organized website that helps Google better interpret the content. And then all browsers, make sure it's going to show up on the different browsers. So using the Google Search Console to monitor and maintain and troubleshoot your site's presence in Google search results. So this was one of the new items that I was not in the last Grow Your Website webinar, because they're always updating their information. So business owners, even if you won't be, using this Google Search Console, you should be aware of it and become familiar with the basics of optimizing your site for search engines. And you know what features are available in Google Search. So SEO specialists and marketers, someone focused on online marketing, Search Console will help you monitor your website traffic, optimize your ranking, and also helps you make informed decision about the appearance of your search site's results. So what happens when it comes up? Does the name of your website come up? Does a proper description of your website come up? I don't know if you've noticed some people's website and their SEO information will say a page name, and it says enter your information here, and it's just a bunch of Latin, e pluribus, blah, 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 blah. So that comes up in, as your search results. So make sure you take a look at how you're coming up on search results. And then you can use this information in Search Console to influence technical decisions for your website and do a little more sophisticated marketing analysis in conjunction with the other Google tools like the Analytics, Google Trends, and Google Ads. And here's, we're going to take a look at it. I would definitely sign up for this if you have a website to see how you're coming up on the search, because this will actually help you help your website property, you might say. So after you've signed up, you're going to receive an email if there's any unusual events that occur with your website. Unusual events will include indications that your website has been hacked or has a problem. Uh-oh, I had a glitch. My screen go out?
I can still see you, Timmy.
You can still see the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Like 2 monitors just went out. So yeah, this is going to help you track anything that's unusual if you've been hacked, and if Google has any problems crawling or indexing your site. So Google will also email you if it's detected that your site violates Google search quality guidelines. So this is really good information about your website. How is Google seeing your website, and how is it going to show it online to other people? So every month or so, we suggest that you take a look at your Search Console status and make sure that you aren't experiencing an increase in errors for your site, and check that you don't have any unusual dips as well. So in your click counts, this could be a sign of issues on your site that could be affecting your search ranking. So when you add new content or make important changes to your site, you may want to test that Google can actually access those new pages in the URL inspection tool. You can tell Google which pages to crawl by updating your sitemap, and you can tell Google which pages not to crawl by using the robots.txt or no index tags a few weeks after you post content, and confirm that the number of index pages in your site is rising. So that's where we're going to go to this next site. So the Search Console will include the performance report, which is going to show you important metrics on how your site performs inside the Google search results, how often it comes up, your average position in search. So this is really important. I think this is one of the most important tools right now. This is going to help you reflect the changes you're making on your website, the Google Trends search terms you're looking for, when you implement them into your website, and then using this tool to see if it's actually showing up and helping you increase your SEO performance or your ranking on those searches. So I think this is one of the most important tools that you should start with, actually, how your website looks and how it's searching. So the URL inspection is going to allow you to check each specific URL on your website and see the status of how Google search sees it, and how this tool provides a detailed crawl index and serving information about your pages directly from the Google index. This is what Google says about you as an entity. And the mobile usability report, which is going to show you which pages in your property have usability problems when viewed on mobile sites or devices. So there again, that's huge. And that's about it, actually. But that last page was one of the most important that I thought. So we've covered a lot of information. So let's take a look at the resources and keep you guys learning. So Google Primer. If you want to sharpen your business skills, check out Primer. It's a free app you can download to your phone. If you have Android, you can just go to Google Play. Or if you have Apple, to the App Store. This just has a lot of series of short, just fun little lessons. They're about 5 minutes each. They're going to give you some tips and tricks to use the different platforms. So if you have a few minutes, you're picking up kids, you have to do stuff, and you want to learn about these things, Google Primer is a nice little tips and trick app to use. And Skillshop, that was one of the links I put in the share. So if you really want to become an expert on the Google Apps for Business, visit the Skillshop. So this was formerly called Academy for Ads, and Skillshop is a one-stop training center for everyone who uses all the Google professional tools and solutions. And there's a training on the Google Ads, the Google Analytics, and Google My Business, and a few more items. And the lessons here are categories based on your experience. And there's information perfect for beginners, intermediate, and even advanced users. And there's no charge for any of this training. So you can go to Access Skillshop by visitor. Yes, I will put a link to the presentation on this when we're finished too. What do they have next for? Oh, Grow My Store. So whether you sell online or in store, you can boost your business with a quick and easy evaluation of your retail website. So this is for retail websites. So just keep that in mind. It's not for information or salon or attorney's office. This is actually, it's going to go look at your shopping carts and some other items. So Grow My Store scores retailers' websites and generates personalized reports with recommendations on help to improve your online experience and how you can offer your customers a better experience and grow your business. So please check out Grow My Store if you have a retail store. And quick help videos. Another great resource is our quick help videos, and you can get answers and learn how to make the most of Google's tools in just a few minutes. And you can learn things like how to get your business listed on Google Search and Maps, how to create a YouTube channel for your business, and how to start a Google Meet conference of your own. And there are free online training and tools at google.com/grow. So if you're a job seeker, they have some really great tools if you're looking for a job. You can grow your skills in order to find new jobs and advance your career. Teachers, you can learn how to put these latest technologies to work inside and outside of the classroom. Small business owners, you can learn how to increase your online presence and find new customers, like this video, this workshop. Startups can learn how to get their ideas and exposures they need, how to develop your app, how to work with Android-based applications and how to get them on the market. And developers can sharpen their skills in new coding and how to use the Google platform. And that's it. Thank you guys very much. I ran through that kind of quick, but I also want to know if you have any questions, what kind of websites you have, and let me get the link to the slides to share for you. So what was the most useful information out of this for anybody? Google. Get your business online. Collaboration. And computer's really slow right now. Hold on. Where is the presentation? Here we go. All right, somebody click on this site and tell me if it works. So this is the link to the presentations. I just put it in the chat, but it's directly from Google, so it might be only for partners. So I can make a copy and put it in a different drive. All right, thank you, Betty. Appreciate checking on that. So yeah, I would take a look at the slides. All the different links we talked about are in there, and look at the notes. The notes have a few extra links and commentaries. That'd be really helpful for you. Any questions? Anyone? Come on.
I put questions in there.
Oh.
In the chat box.
My chat disappeared. Analytics.
Will this be on the YouTube?
The presentation I'll be putting back on YouTube, but also if you go to Grow with Google on Air, you can go and look at different Google Analytics, part 1 and 2. Copy, let me put it here again. Paste. This link right here, if you have more questions on Google Analytics, they have part 1 and 2. And I think you can do those ones on demand. Show more. And they also have in the skills shop that you can go to. Let me go back up for questions. If you want to, Heather had a question. If you want to create a short report, what are the top 3 to 5 analytics would be the most valuable to share? A short report, one, you want to know how many people are coming to your site on a daily basis. Take a look at Google My Business, like how many people search for you, how many, because they'll have a Google search for you. It'll also have how many traffic that's come to your website. It's going to tell you how many are new users and repeat users and the regions they're coming from. So you can take a look quickly. Let's see, let me share this site. Da, 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 da. Did the new site come up? So this is my analytics page. So this is showing me right off the bat the traffic channel, the source to medium, and the referrals. So I can go and take a look from my Facebook ads or my Facebook postings about certain things that I'm telling people to come to my resource page, and on certain days I can see spikes. So
We can't see it.
oh, you can't.
No.
Let's go stop and then reshare. Share window.
And is there a link to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I can put one on there. So if you look here, like today, September 1st, yesterday, I did a few posts, and all of a sudden, you know, we're averaging like 17 users a day. I start making posts about our webinars that are coming up. And so yesterday it jumped up to 37 all of a sudden. But now I can see where those 37 people were coming from as well. So down here, it's going to tell me as the pop-up, other social media. I had 6 people come. 2 came from direct email. 20 direct people came, and then 10 people were searching for me. So this is kind of big. I mean, you can tell each day where people are coming from. So as you change your website, you change the information and you share more on social media, you can see if it's actually working or not. And that's where they were talking about doing the A/B testing on your pages. You might create two of the same pages, just different layouts. And on your social media links and the ads that you're putting, and then just be shares. The link that you put in there, you can see which one actually has them go through the flow. So you can see where they're coming from, but now you want to see their behavior. So behavior flow, we were talking about this. So I can see once they did come to the website, where did they go? So they're coming to the landing page. They're going to contact us. Then they're going, I can just see where they're going all the way through. So starting page, they wanted to see our events. They went to our events calendar, and then they went to events marketing. So you can see the flow from where they're coming from and then what they're doing. So you can tell which A/B page is getting the most traffic for you. But you wanted the YouTube link. Hold on. YouTube. And since we are not in conversions, you can set up. This is where you want to say thank you for registering. You want to confirm things. They want to downloads. So it depends what you want your customers to do. You can start setting up different goals for them and see if you're reaching those goals. Acquisition, overview, have this set up. So acquisitions, this tells me where the traffic is coming from for the most part in one place. Instead of hovering over each one like I was, this is a report that tells me if it's organic, direct, and I can take a look at all those. And social, it's 9 for that day. And I think you can change the add a segment, and you can change the dates as well, I think. But here's our channel. Our channel. Boom, boom. Subscriber. Paste. Mm-hmm. And anything you want to do, go to grow Google. Let me go to my YouTube. Google for nonprofits. Google Help. So like here, you just go to Google Analytics, and there's just so much information that Google puts out. And then there's a link to the Google Analytics, all their help videos, how to start with it. They have different playlists that you can get going. Yeah, they have tons of videos. Let me see what other questions we have here. And this presentation to review later is going to be on our Google channel that I put on there, our Chicostart one. Heather, thank you. Social Media 101 was great. I went back and watched it myself. Mark has a lot of awesome information. If you guys want to see our resource page, I'll put that real quick for you. And resource files. Copy.
Customers are integral to your business and its growth. Today's customers.
Here's a link to our resource page for the link to the social media 101 webinar and the presentation slides that Mark had. We also have different COVID. If any of you guys have any small businesses, we do have some COVID-19 a reopening toolkit that was put on by SCORE and Jackie McLean, and we just put on a second one, which was HR and how to deal with reopening and employees for small businesses, and how to take care of the new different Family Fund Recovery Act. So having people go home, working from home, there's lots of useful information there. And then what else do we have on here? We have a few different ones. So please check out our resource page. Check out all the links I have in the chat here. And if I put my email address on there previously, if you'd like to just have me send a copy of this chat to you, send me an email and I'll forward it to you. But a copy of this presentation will be online on our website channel, maybe later today, but definitely by tomorrow.
Does your business or Chicostart or Google have any free online sales classes teaching online sales?
Teaching the online sales? No, not that I know of. They are going to have little courses on how to use Google advertising. So they're going to walk you through how to set up an ad, how to find the right target and the audiences, and to test those ads. But a lot of it has to do with getting your website together first, making sure your Google My Business is correct. You're showing up in the search terms, your analytics is hooked up to your website. So there's a lot of stuff you need to get prepared first before you start doing online sales. And again, with those Google trend terms, putting in what those search terms you might think people are looking for you. They had a good example last week, somebody was looking for a shoe repair place, but they put in, arches of my shoes are hurting me, so that was their search term because their shoes were hurting them, but they were actually looking for looking for a shoe repair place. That was one of the examples they gave. So looking at different recommendations that Google is giving you for different search terms and what people are looking for, take a look at those and copy and paste them and keep a list of them. But those terms you also have to put into your website and into your content. I would like to see if they had a good workflow on where you should start first. I know they're doing it, but just to see a nice flow chart. So from the slides, creating like, okay, here you need to think about your goals. What do you want the website to do? Then you go to analytics. Now you put, trends, find your terms, put them into your content. Then make sure you Google My Business. From there, see if it's working on analytics. And then from there, doing your Google ads and then seeing how they're working. And it would just be a nice workflow from start to finish on what are the best methods to incorporate each of these different platforms, because there's just so much of it. But I have to say we are at an end. I need to be considerate to everyone's time. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'll have this information up for everybody as soon as I can. So thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up. Take a look at our events calendar page, which I will share in here too real quick. Events, copy, and that way we'll have this in the notes. Paste. Yes, check out our events at chicostart.com/events and see any new webinars that are coming up, not only for Grow with Google, but for business help, support, social media, HR. You know, we're looking for the community. If you know anyone that is a community expert and would like to help us with a workshop, please send them our way. We'll be putting on some workshops pretty soon with the SBA. Working together with some of their resources to help share local community experts, not only from Chico, but the Northern California region. So that's going to be really nice. Look for those coming up. And have a great day. I hope you guys learned something new. I always like to share what I can. And we'll go from there. Go out and have a great day. Go be awesome. We'll talk to everyone next week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
A lot of information.
Stop sharing. See you next week.